how to utilize the budget sheet. Here we have the dashboard. This is where all the pertinent information from all the other sheets will be displayed. That way you can get any information you need very quickly. The only cell thus far you need to change will be your gross monthly income. Here, let's just say in 7,500 a month, you make 5,000 a month. Total income year to date, again, all of these will be pulled from all the other sheets, along with total spent, your percentage of your income spent, saved, your total debt pay down, your debt to income ratio, and your income to expense ratio. Here we have your income by month, and at the bottom, your average income. Same thing with expenses by month, and a monthly average. The net worth, this will be pulled from the net worth tab that we'll go over here shortly. Savings, this is where we're going to start plugging in some information. So we'll go ahead and delete this example. So savings, this is where you're going to plug in any fund or any account that you have. You can give it a name, and or if it's just a general savings account. So let's say you're saving up, like the one previously said, for a new car, just for a down payment, and you want to save up $7,000, and you're going to contribute $250 a month, and you already have $1,000 saved up. The sheet will automatically do all the calculations for you. You have $5,700 left, 82% of the way there. Take you about 2 more years to save up, and your estimated save date will be March 31st, 2027, and that's also represented as a graph here. Same thing with debt. You can go ahead and plug in a debt here if you are a new debt here if you have one, along with the balance, the start date. Always put the beginning of the year start date, and we'll get into that later. The minimum payment and your interest rate, and then the sheet will do the rest. Your total debt will be represented here, how much you've paid down, again pulled from all the other sheets, your minimum monthly payment, and then your debt-free date at the end there. So when you will finally be totally debt-free. Now we're going to jump into the monthly tabs. Here, you're really going to have to change this section here where it says income. You're going to plug in your paychecks and how often you get paid, whether that be every week or bi-weekly. In this example, it looks like this person's paid every 2 weeks and they're expecting $1,931. And their actual check is $1,931. And this is expected versus actual across expenses, savings, bills, debt, and income or investments. I apologize. So what you've actually earned versus what you've actually spent, what you've budgeted for versus what you actually spent. In this scenario, it looks like this person's $312 over their budget, but they have $606 left to spend with a total income for the month of $6,500 and total expenses of $59 or just under $6,000. Then we have your expenses by days, how much money you spend by day here. So just kind of a running tally and see where you spend a lot of your money, along with a chart that tracks where you're spending your money as in a category. So it looks like this person's saving 42.6% of the money that is spent or allocated in this fashion. Where I spend my money, this will give you an overview of the most spent on items through the month. Looks like 20% of the money this person spent went to their rent, 16.7% went to a down payment, and then 16.7 also went to an emergency fund, and 8.4 to the vet. That's also represented here in text form. Budget versus actual, this data is representative of this data up here, just a different way to visualize it. And again, you do not need to touch the savings or debt here. All this information will be pulled from the dashboard. Bills, any monthly recurring bill you'll plug in here. Let's just say you pay for another Netflix account. Netflix 2. And then let's say that comes out on the 31st. And that's $15. Now you won't have anything here until you actually log a transaction in the transaction logger below, along with expenses, your variable expenses here. Here's where you're going to plug in all your transactions, and then they will automatically be allocated up here above. Now, let's just say if you're copying transactions from your bank, if you've downloaded a CSV file and you're going to be copying and pasting them in here, what you want to do is select this file, Pay special, values only is what you're going to want to use for that one. If you just normally paste them in, what's going to happen is you're going to unmerge the cells, you're going to unformat the cells. Not a huge deal, you can always undo and then paste special, paste values only. If you forget that, also what you can do is if you paste it in there and you unmerge all the cells and the format's not right, come up here and use the format painter, use the, it looks like the paintbrush in the left-hand corner, copy the format that you want, and then drag all the way down through all the affected cells. Then all the months are obviously going to be the same, so we're going to jump on down to the savings tracker here. Not a lot needs to be done with this cell, hardly anything. This is going to give you a month by month view on how much you've saved for each account. Your progress, again, all this is going to be represented in the dashboard, your total savings and your year-to-date savings. Debt tracker, again, this information here in the debt overview page will be pulled from the dashboard. Starting date, first of the year, any extra monthly payments, whoops. So let's say if you're getting serious about paying off your debt and you want to contribute a $5,000 lump sum right up front, and then you cancel one of your Netflix subscriptions and you're going to contribute that monthly, all the information here will change and your debt-free date will change. Going down to the Amex, each of your debts will be represented here individually. Balance, current balance of $727, interest rate here. Start date, here's where you can plug in the original start date whenever you got this credit card if you want to, and then the original balance. So let's say here this credit card was actually $8,000. This is where you're going to actually get your actual progress. 90.91% complete. We'll change that back to 750. Graph showing your debt-free date and your balances over time, along with where your debt is all allocated. It looks like 85.9% of this person's debt lies in their vehicle. Moving down here, and we always recommend that you organize your debts from lowest balance to highest balance, because this sheet will automatically take the monthly payment and then allocate it towards the next one right up front and use that to start snowballing your debts. Moving on to the final sheet, the net worth tracker. Total net worth here, your net worth goal. Let's just say you want to be worth 50,000 instead of, or that's not 50. There we go, 50,000 instead of 100,000. That's where you want to go. You have 48,000, 49,000 left to your amount to your goal, along with the growth that you've accumulated over the year. Looks like this fictitious person started out at a negative $31,000 debt and slowly was able to build that back to positive $1,000 over the year. Distribution of your assets, where they are located, 68 in cash accounts, 31 in investments. Liabilities, same scenario, long-term versus short-term. You would list all of your accounts here, anything that's easily being able to liquidate it, or just cash in general. Over time, recommend you do this on the last day of each month, and then I would go back and pull records for the first day of the year and then plug it in for the last day of each month. That way you get an accurate representation of your net worth over time. Any investment accounts you have, properties, and assets. And these tabs you can change if what we have here does not fit what you're looking for. Same thing with the liabilities, short-term debt, long-term debt, and other. And that's a pretty good rundown. Now in the description, we're gonna have some helpful links for Amazon books, Amazon, how to budget, Money Masters Psychology, fantastic book, highly recommend you read it. All those affiliate links for all those helpful reads and basically to help you get started on budgeting are going to be down in the description. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us anytime. Thank you so much, and you guys have a great rest of your day.